Hey guys, hello and welcome to another video of Power Automate today. So in today's video, we will be seeing how can we add bulk item data using an Excel into a queue. New action is added. I have seen it recently. And we will be also seeing how can we get the queue item data, right? So let's say here we have one queue process on hold, generate different items we have and different statuses we have. We will see how can we get our queue data into an Excel for monitoring purpose, or you can say for reporting purpose, right? So let's get started. What I'll do is I'll quickly add one work queue. So I'll name it as bulk queue, and you can write a description on which process it is using. Work queue key is generated uniquely. If there is any default expiration date you want to add, schema I'll choose none. Auto retry on IT exception is basically if there is an IT exception, Power Automate will automatically retry it. It's basically same as in Blue Prism, right? And then allow update item input while in processing. So there are different actions being added. So let's just go and create, and I will go to Power Automate. Let me just refresh it, and I'll go to here. What I'll do is I'll just search for queue. See, here we have some actions: add multiple queue items, right? So if I go into add multiple queue items, I have my queue and I have work queue item data. Basically it will ask me for a data table, right? So data table, this data table I'll be getting from a Excel workbook. Now how does the Excel workbook looks? Now this require some mandatory columns which needs to be your in your Excel. Now what are the mandatory columns? It's on the portal. So these are the mandatory columns. You can see name, input, expiry date, processing notes, status, priority, right? These are the columns. So these columns must be there. Plus there are two columns which are required, definitely yes and no. They cannot be blank, right? So I already have created an Excel where I have my pre-owned columns, right? All these columns, unique reference, input, all these are already there. So what I'll do is I'll just have a quick data according to this, right? So what I'll do is I will have a dummy data, okay, in this Excel. And today let's use the AI builder to have the dummy data to create our test data, right? So let's use prompt today, chat GPT today, to generate the test data for us, right? So for chat GPT to generate the data, I'll just use these columns. I'll just copy these columns and yeah, bhai. And I'll go to prompt, see all template, and here I have generate test data. This there is already a prompt, although you can build your own custom prompts, right? So in here what I'll do is I will just paste my columns and I will keep them comma separated, right? So comma, and then comma, and then comma, then comma, and then one here, one here, and one here, right? Now how many rows I want? Let's say I want 10 rows. And topic, give UNESCO buildings. But since we only need in priority, if you see in the portal, in priority there can be three priorities: 100, 200, or 300. There should be no fourth value other than this, and a status would be queued or on hold. So usually we always keep it in queued, right? So what I'll do is I'll give GPT a prompt. Topic is UNESCO building, and priority must be low, normal, and high, and status must be in 0 or 1, right? So let me just test prompt. Oh, I have written height instead of high. That's okay. GPT has done it itself. Great. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this data See, GPT has generated test data for us. I'll just go to this sheet and convert this data into a readable format. I'll remove this, right, and go to data, text to columns, delimit with, next. I'll use pipe symbol, next, finish. Okay, so I have this. Let me copy this here. Copy this here. Although there can be a different method to do this, but uh, I choose this one only. You can tell me in the comment section below what can be a better method to copy this data more quickly. I'll just copy it quickly. Okay. Okay, so here I have my test data. What I'll do is I will just copy this and I will paste it in here. See, name, input I have, processing nodes I have, priority. So for low, if you see, it is 300, right? So I'll quickly change it, 300, 200 and 100. Copy this again, and let's do it 200. For status, I will mark all 0. Okay, and yeah, let me just delete this one because the column is not required. Input, let's keep it as it is, right? And let me just delete the sheet also. Okay, let me just save it, and let's go to my flows and go in here. So I can give that Excel data in here. So to get that Excel data, I'll quickly launch my Excel, read the data. Okay, I have this. Let me just copy this here. Right, you can open as read only, that's no problem, and then close Excel. Where is, sorry, I'll read first, then I'll close it. Read from Excel worksheet, right, value, all values in the worksheet, and in advanced don't forget to check this one, first range of column text, and then I will close my Excel, right, do not save and then I will have my queue, add multiple items. Now in add multiple items, I'll choose my bulk queue, whatever name is there, and I will have this Excel data and I'll click save. Now let's just run and see the output. Okay, and boom, this is done. Let me go to work queue, and if you see in the work queue, we have some items, and not some, we have 10, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and all are queued, and you can see the priority. If you have added the expired and date and that, you will have that also, right? So okay, great. Till now we have all these items. So what I'll be doing now is I will be reading these all data into the work queue and getting all that data into an Excel, right? I'll do is I'll create a new flow which will be called as the reporting, else I'll name it as queue reporting, right? Okay, so first of all I will set some variables, right? So set variable, I will have the queue name in these variables. I'll be keeping all the things as dynamic, right? So queue name, and my queue name will one would be bulk queue. So I'll be fetching data from the bulk queue, so bulk underscore queue, and then I'll be separating them with a pipe symbol, right? So this can also be an environment variable where you can add more values. Now second I'll take is gmxq. So gmxq, and the last I will take is, let's take salesforce queue. Okay, so let's take salesforce queue, right? So we have now, okay, I think that as long as the name is correct, the logic will work fine, right? So what I'll do is I will split this so that it will be into my variable. So just follow with me, queue name, and it will be custom delimiter, okay, and I will have just rename it as queue list. Right now what I'll do is I will loop on my list, right? So I will name this as list, queue list, and it will, this list contains queue name, right? I think till this part everything is good. Now what I'll do is I will, for each queue I will get the item. So get work queue item filter, right? Here I will give uh, queue name, okay, and here, so in this filter rows we have fetch.xml query. If you don't know how it works, it is very simple. Oh, okay, I already have opened it. So here are the attributes name in our work queue. So state code means processed and queued and on hold, unique id by queue, the unique reference, created, completed, all these are here, right? So in order to use this filter, this is the format which can be used. Right now I will be using this filter again. I'll just copy this one and I will paste it here, right? So this is the format. I will not go very deep into the in writing this fetch xml query. You can see here what is the query, and you can change the query as you are required. So for now I'll be removing this order now attribute, and since I need to get all the items, I'll be writing 2-3 conditions, right? So filter type I'll write here or, although and will also work. So what I'll do is, let's say that I need to get so this is the first queue. The first queue is the bulk queue. Now let's say that I want to get the item with the name Petra. So what I'll do is, so name attribute is already there, eq, and then I will write here Petra, right? And I'll click save, right? So this is how you can get the item. So all the attributes name are here. Let's say that you want only item created on today. So what you can do is you can write the attribute name created on, and then you can use the operator on or before, or you can use on and then you can give the value. So this is how we can fetch the values. Now let me just run this and let's see how it works. If I run it, and it is currently running, let's see if it failed to get work item from queue. Okay, let me first check the queue name. Queue name is correct only. Bulk queue is correct. Let me check the filter. Filter is also seems okay. I think the only issue is with this work queue name. Okay, let's try it once more. Okay, so this is not working. I think there is some issue in this queue name, but no worries. What we will do is, if the name it is not working, let's take the id. I think in place of the queue name, if you give id, then it would definitely work. So what I'll do is I'll take, instead of work queue name, I'll take the IDs. But please tag Microsoft so that they will fix this issue. So ID, how will you get? You go to advanced details and you get this. Um, and then finally, let's take the Salesforce queue. Right, and go to advanced details and take the ID, and you're done. Right, with the queue name, it is not working. Okay, no problem. So we will take work queue ID, and then here we will give this. Okay, and click save. So there is one more thing, that there is a space in the Petra in all the fields. I will see how can we handle that also. So first I'll just run it and let's see if it is working now or not. Okay. So now if you see, we have got one item, and this is right Petra, and there is a space if you see. Now how can you handle those spaces in these queue? How can you write queries? Right, so what we can do is, instead of eq, you can write like, and then you can write like this. I hope this format works, because percent is no. Okay, let's write percent sign here, and okay. So I have removed the space and I have added a percent sign, like we use in the SQL. So okay. Okay, so it is working. See, it is also getting the same name. So you can use like operator also. Likewise, I have used. You can use multiple conditions also to get all the values, right? You can use created on date also. The format is here. I'll paste you the link. How can we use all these conditions using this? So I'll use one more and condition with the help of the status code. So I'll go back to this fetch XML, copy this, and what I'll do is I'll paste my XML here, and I will remove this, right, and I will remove this also, right, and this also is not required. Here I will add the created on, and I'll add today's date. Created on, value is 502, and today's date is 15, and save, and let's just run it. Right, so we are getting, so this is how we can apply multiple conditions also. Now how do we get this data into Excel? To get the data in Excel, you can have your own logic. I'll have my own. So what I'll do is, how the output should look to me is, I'll just show you how the output should look to me. You can have your own output, right? So what I'll do is, let me create a sheet. So what I'll do is, I will have all these columns, right, because these are the mandatory columns. I'll have these 6 columns. We can have more also, right? 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then I will have one more column here with the name of QName, right? So this is how my format should look like. The output should look like. So what will happen is, here let's say we have 10 items for one queue, till here it will have, and then for another queue it will have here, and for another queue it will have here. You can have your own logic. For example, you can create different sheets for different queue names, right? So I'll just quickly save it, and let's move back to here. Okay, so here I am getting all the data. So what I'll do is, I'll use a set variable. Where is the set? Okay, so what I'll do is I will set all my variables. For example, what data I need, I will get all the data, right? And so I will have these 9 variables created, and for all these 9 variables I will feed the data. So for the first one is the queue name. Queue name we already have, so I'll give unique reference, right? Let's for now let's just give it blank, and then right, so for this I'll give it name, I'll give it value, and then a unique input. And then we have processing nodes. Sorry, we have processing nodes. Then we will have status, we will have priority, right? And then in the last we can have the expiry also. Okay, let's not have these 2 columns, let's have only the important ones, right? Although I will create a Excel file on the run, it just for your references. Right now I have all these. Now what I need to do is I need to loop through the queue data. So in order to get all the data, what I'll do is I'll just change this condition. What I'll do is you can write your own logic. So there must be some value in the name, or it's better that you provide here priority, because it would never be blank. Name can be blank, and there is one more field, I think input, that should not be blank, so you can also give here input, right? I'll be giving the name here, save, and with the name if I run it, it will get all the data. Okay, so decrease the run delay and run it. So if you see here, I have all the items, and for each item I have all the details. Okay, I'll click OK. Now I'll use one more loop, and that loop will loop through the, so this loop will loop through the work queue items, right? And this will have the queue item, right? So our first loop is on the queue name, and our second loop will be on the queue item. So I'll just cut them and paste inside this, right? And one thing that we have missed is the queue name. Okay, and now what I'll do is in the unique reference I'll have my queue item dot, it must be here, where is the unique ID? Is it here? No. Anyway, let's give ID for now. For name, let's give the name, and for value, let's give the value. Let me change here myself. And for processing nodes, let's give the processing nodes. Here is the processing nodes. And then for the status, let's have the status. I think the status is maybe this code. I don't know. Let's check this out. What will this give? In place of priority, let's give the priority. Okay, and in the last is queue name. Okay, so in this we do not have a queue name, so it can be a homework for you to get the queue name using the queue id. Right, for now what I'll do is, let me just check. No, 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 no. No problem, I'll have the work queue id. Okay, so one thing is missing, I think, unique reference. So in the output, unique reference is not there again. I think it will come in the near future update. So I'll just remove this. So now I have name, value, processing nodes, status, priority, and then let me add a created on also. Created on, and let's have the, in the queue item, let's have a created on. This is not created. It must be created or created on, modified, execution context, completed. Let me check the queue ones. Processing start in queue time. Okay, let's check if we have some in queue time. So we do not have created on for now. I don't know why this is missing. This should not be missing. This is very important parameter. Anyway, I have taken completed on. I think created on will be coming in the next update for this, right? So I have now all the items. Now what I will need to do is, let me create a data table, right? So data, create new data table. Okay, and here what I'll do is I will have my value. So name, and then value, and then status, then priority, and then we can have the queue id, right? And then we can have the completed date, right? 3 6. So we have 6 columns. Save. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, processing nodes is left, so I'll add one more. I'll add a nodes column. Right, now let's just click save. And okay, so once the this loop starts, I need to clear all the data of this data table. So I'll add a clear data table, and I'll have my data table here. Okay, and now once the loop ends, means here I want insert a row into the data table, right? So which data table? Data table is the data table. Right, now let's use end of the table, new values. If you see here the parameters, it says what it says, it accept list or data row. Okay, so if you haven't watched my list video, I have shown what is the format of list. Although you can watch it, I'll provide you the link also. But for here, the list basically is enclosed in the square brackets and enclosed in this format. Right, now the first column in the data table is, so it starts with name, value, status, priority, right? So I'll give name, right, and then comma status, and then comma priority, and then comma thank you name, and then I think completed on, and finally notes, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6, I think. Okay, I have forgot value here. Name, value, status, right? So value, I hope the sequence is correct. So NVSPQCP, right? Check it once again. So it is NVSPQCNP, which is right. Okay, so this is the format that we need to provide, although it is giving me a syntax error. So what I'll do is I'll just remove these percent signs. Because percent sign is already at the starting. If you see, we already have the percent sign, so we are not required to give, although if you want to give value, you can give in the single quotes. So now it will not take the variable name, it will take the value name, right? So I'll just click save. Yeah, the error is gone, if you see, right? And okay, so create data table. Let me just quickly check the logic. Create data table, then it cleared the data table and it get all the items. Then for each item it will print the row and then it writes the data. Okay, I think I would be needing one more data table similar to this. Let's rename it to uh, 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 array. Let's rename it to final table, right? And let me apply clear, because by default there is always a row added. So I'll just add a final table, right? Okay, added, done. And then what I'll do is I think join data table will work. I don't know if this works. Let's hope that it will work. First data table is the final data table, right? Second is the simple data table I have, right? And inner join will work. And joining rules. Okay, let's see if full join works. Do I need to define the rules? Okay. Okay, let's just leave the join for now, and let's just leave this. We'll join the table later on, but let's see first if this is working fine or not. Okay, so before running, let's do one thing. Let's use merge data table to finally merge our table, right? I think join will not work, but merge should work. Second data table is the final data table that I have, right? Merge mode is okay, let it be, and let's see how it works. Okay, okay, the this is completed. Let's check our final table. Okay, I think it has all the items in QID, and it has completed date where it has processed or where it has the exception, and then it has all the items. Now there is one thing left, the QID, the queue name. This is a homework for you. You can do it on your own. You can apply your own logic, or you can also fetch the queue name with the help of QID, right? So what I'll do is only one thing is left, to create an Excel. So for Excel, I'll just have a new uh, save Excel, right? So what I'll do is I'll have my launch Excel, okay, with a blank, and then write Excel worksheet. Instance 2 value to write is a final data table on currently active cell, right? Click save and then close Excel. Right, and I'll call my subflow here. Right, so I think this is all. One thing left. With what name should I save it? Save document as. I'll take the. So I have given the path. Let me just run it. Okay, so now it is running. Meanwhile, it is running. There is one thing that I wanted to mention here, and the thing is that you need to do proper exception handling in this flow. Now you might be wondering that why I have used two data tables. One is that simple data table, and another one is the simple this final data table. Right? Let me just complete the run and let me just check the output. Okay, so if you see, we have the output. Great. Let me just expand this. So this is the name, but we are not getting the column values. See, this is the issue with Microsoft. It never tells us, or it never asks whether we want to give the uh, data table headers or not. This is the issue with Microsoft. No way, we have a shortcut to do this. So what I was saying is we have to do proper exception handling in this flow, because this action will fail. So sometime what happens is it will take time to fetch the item and then this item fails, right? So what we need to do in exception handling part is, if there is any item fail in the for each loop, right, what we need to do is clear the data table, right? Clear the data table and then run this loop again, right? Or we can do is, if this item fails, then it should retry it after some time, right? And there is one more thing, that we have to use this query with very cautious, because it will take some time. So the input should be, so it should always have some filters to it, right? So let me just cancel it, and since the headers name were not there, let me just set the header name quickly. Mm, So, okay, what I'll do is let's do one thing. Let's take this, and so our headers will be, I think this should work. First is the name, right? And then we have the value, and then we have the status, I guess. Then we have the uh, priority news. Then we have the QID, and then we have the date, and then we have the notes, right? Okay, and okay, let's see how this one works. Right, let me just delete the old file. Let's see, it should not overlap, that's it. Or else we have to write on the named cells, or we have to write on the specified cell. Let's see, where will this write the data, or we'll have to use the append function, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, no, this is not I wanted, but let's see, where will it write. It is writing from the A1. Okay, no, so let me change the logic a bit. It should not write the initial values like that. I think we have to close these in curly braces, right? And then we have to write this on a specified cell. So we'll have to write this on the a column, and on the second row, let's see how this works. I hope this will work now. Okay, it is running. Should not take much time now. Okay, let's see the output. Okay, output is perfect. We have priority queued and all that things, and let's just run last action. Yeah, so now if you see the output, and the output is in the format that we wanted, right? So we have name, we have values, we have the status, priority, QID, date, and notes, right? I think this is fine. So this is all about today's video, right? If you like this video, like, share, and comment below. Let me know what you most like about that video, and let me know what video should I be making next. Till then, bye. Happy automation. See you in the next video.